Jurassic Park, one of the best, worst dinosaur documentaries in the entire history of our world. And I say that because of its numerous inaccuracies towards dinosaurs. Some of these inaccuracies happened because of what we knew about dinosaurs at the time. Others happened because of the sci-fi elements they were adapting from the original Jurassic Park novel. But here's the kicker, it's because of those sci-fi elements that the dinosaurs are inaccurate. They were never meant to be accurate. They had a reason to be inaccurate all along. Well, up until Jurassic World Dominion, but we'll get there when we'll get there. The sci-fi element I'm of course referring to is the frog DNA. If not for the frog DNA, the raptors and the other theropods would have some form of feathering. The T-Rex, the novel version, would have better eyesight, and they wouldn't have the ability to change their sex. But out of all of these dinosaurs being affected by the genetic changes of frog DNA, no dinosaur was affected more than the Dilophosaurus. Now, in the novel, the only changes made to the Dilophosaurus was its ability to spit venom. But in the movie, the changes were much more drastic. The Dilophosaurus was smaller, had a slightly different skull shape, and... what was that? Oh yeah, it's giant thrills. And those changes all happen thanks to frog DNA. Yellow-banded poison dart frog DNA, specifically. Which makes zero sense, as yellow-banded poison dart frog DNA shouldn't give a dinosaur frills or the ability to shoot venom. If anything, it should be covered in poison, which is a result of eating insects. Yeah, I'm not just a dinosaur nerd. I'm a frog nerd, too. But I'm also a Pokémon nerd. And because of my Pokémon nerdiness, creating my Dilophosaurus Pokémon was fairly easy, sparing no expense, as I knew exactly what to do. Embrace the messiness of its creation, and the reason why it has those abilities. Horror. In Pokemon, all of the fossil Pokemon are restored incorrectly, which is why all of them are rock type. The exceptions to this, of course, are the Galar fossil Pokemon, which are just parts of other fossil Pokemon fused together, which results in the rock type being nullified, I'm assuming. And this is because they are being restored from fossils, bones that have been turned into rocks. But what if other changes happen to fossils older than the ones we currently know of in the canon? This idea led to me making Delupho and Dilodelic come from 200 million years ago, rather than the common 100 million years ago that we commonly hear in Pokemon Dex entries from fossil Pokemon. And because of that massive difference in time, they are both rock psychic types instead of being normal type, which was speculated by fossil researchers. The reason for me choosing the normal type for the real Delupho and Dilodelic is because Dilophosaurus was a normal theropod from the Jurassic period. Well, a dangerous pack-hunting large theropod, but normal in its own right. And I don't need to explain why it's rock type, but as for its psychic typing, that comes from the second inspiration for these two Pokemon. Cosmic horror. Part of the message of Jurassic Park is that you cannot predict complex systems, such as what happens when you mix the DNA of an ancient critter you hardly know of and the DNA of, frogs. And Cosmic Horror's whole point is the lack of comprehension of something so drastically more than what you can understand. And in return, you will lose your mind for that. And as you will see in this evolution line, that becomes even more clear. Starting with Delupho, its name comes from delusional and Dilophosaurus. Delupho's abilities are Runaway and Intimidate, and its hidden ability is Illusion. Runaway was chosen because it's a small Pokemon that could be predated on by other bigger fossil Pokemon, or other bigger Pokemon in general. But Intimidate and Illusion were chosen for the same reason, its main gimmick, which comes in the form of the glowing patterns on its neck. When threatened, Delupho will project the patterns on its neck to create strange illusions. Staring too long in them will result in a headache. The patterns on its neck are modeled after the Rorschach ink blot test. Images that can look different depending on your or another viewer's perspective. These patterns, as you can see in this image, decorate the entirety of Delupho's body, but it's only the ones on its neck that can project these illusions, as I just mentioned earlier. And said illusions can even help disguise itself as other Pokemon, much like Zora and Zoroark. But the reason for Intimidate goes back to the movie Dilophosaurus' inspiration for the frilled lizard, which uses its frills to intimidate potential predators that might attack it. But for Delupho's evolution, Dilodelic, it doesn't just use its psychic projections to intimidate enemies, but to threaten prey as well. The prints on Dilodelic's neck and face project when threatening enemies and prey. Staring too long into these projections will cause you to lose your mind. What the flip? As mentioned before, Delupho's Rorschach patterns give onlookers a headache, and so Evolution has upgraded this power to make those headaches into insanity-causing illusion. This is to reflect the nature of cosmic horror, where the sane go mad when subjected to a cosmic threat. This is why I gave Dilodelic the ability Madden to replace Runaway. Madden is a new ability that I made so that when the Pokemon enters battle, it projects an image so horrifying that opponents and allies have their special defenses lowered and become deeply confused. Now, if Dilodelic weren't already a threat because of its ability Madden, its signature move is much worse. Mental Fissure is a psychic-type special damage move that can deal 70 points of damage and has a 90% accuracy. The user projects a terrifying illusion onto the target, subjecting them to untold horrors. It has a 30% chance to leave paralysis, confusion, or lower their strongest stat, and does double the damage on normal types regardless. The idea behind this move is that it is essentially traumatize the Pokemon move, as when subjected to something that traumatic, you are bound to become paralyzed with fear, deeply confused, or lose one of your greatest strengths. Its super effectiveness on normal types is because the normal are not prepared for things beyond their regular comprehension. This move, combined with Dilodelic's ability, Madden, make it a strong and powerful opponent. And there you have it. What do you think of the twin-crested Pokemon Delupho and Dilodelic? I personally think they're pretty cool. Leave a comment and a like, and don't forget to follow for more content. Thank you for watching, and goodbye!